Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Today we are talking all about weird food combos that really aren't so weird. So if you're new to the podcast, then you don't know that I always talk about how there really is no such food as a breakfast food, a lunch food, a dinner food, a snack food. We are conditioned to think that cereal is for breakfast and salads are for lunch and, chicken, potatoes, and broccoli are for dinner. But realistically, if you wanted to wake up in the morning and have your, chicken, broccoli, and sweet potato for breakfast, you totally could. And if you wanted to have cereal for dinner, you totally could. There really are no rules. Food is fuel. Food is nourishment. And if you really check in with your body and ask yourself, what is it that I'm craving? It's going to tell you what that is. And instead of you consistently ignoring it and dismissing it and then ending up in binging, emotional eating, dissatisfaction, the more you stay satisfied, the more consistent you're going to be with whatever kind of plan that you're on, whether related to your health goals. So it's really important that you listen to your cravings and you honor them, while also incorporating that balance of making sure that most of your meals have, at least one food component to each food group present. So for example, there's some protein, there's some carbohydrates, a complex carbohydrate, some healthy fat, and then the flavor, right? Do you want sweet? Do you want crunchy? Do you want salty? So texture, it would be crunchy or soft, and really kind of check in with that. And you'd be surprised what actually ends up coming up. Really, quote unquote, weird food combos tend to come up as that. The other reason why there's really no such thing as weird food combos is because, as you're gonna learn in this episode, there's certain countries and there's certain people who, for example, cottage cheese is in this a lot. And I asked my audience on Instagram. So if you submitted a weird food combo, thank you so much for your submission. I kind of went through them and I combed and picked out the ones that I feel this sounds weird, but it's one person's having it this way, the other person's having it this way. So who gets to decide that it's weird, right? It's like deciding what's quote unquote normal. Is anybody really normal? I don't think so. So anyways, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because depending on which country you're from, you might grow up and have cottage cheese as a savory dish, or you might have cottage cheese as a sweet dish. And so what I've come to learn, and this is through working with a lot of clients over the years and really honoring their culture and their background and hearing from them of what it is that they typically eat in a day and what combinations that they come from, what combinations they choose. And often they'll say stuff like, this is weird, but I tend to do this. And then I'm like, no, it is not weird. This is what you do. Just like what I do is different. It's just different. So it's not weird. It's just different. And you come to find I've tried a lot of things suggested from my clients, or I don't know if you know, but I have my clients take pictures of their food as part of accountability and awareness and helping me see what they're eating. And they'll often take a picture of their food and comment something below it. It's this might not go together, but it was what I was craving. And I'm giving them these, you can respond with emojis, these hand claps, these celebrations, these great jobs. It's no, that's amazing. You listened to your cravings, you listened to your hunger, and you honored that. So it's super special. So I think it's important. I wanted to kind of share these with you, for one, so you know that you're not alone and it is quote unquote normal, whatever that means. Two, we'll have maybe weird cravings or things that maybe you go against the grain a bit. Totally cool. And then also that I think this will help you if you're kind of stuck and you're eating basically the same thing every single day. That gets super boring and super rigid. And we really want to try to incorporate a variety of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean proteins and different foods in your diet, because that's going to actually help your gut, which is going to help your overall health. And on a more practical level, it's probably going to help you be consistent and really kind of minimize that all or nothing approach that a lot of people tend to take when they're taking control of their health. All right, so I'm basically just going to run down a list of these, and I'm curious to know if you think that these are weird. And if you want to let me know, I could always do a part 2. So if you listen to this and you're like, oh my God, totally resonate with that, like totally have had that before, or oh, haven't thought about it, but then you try it and you're like, absolutely love it. Or you maybe know of a quote unquote weird food combo that maybe your friend does. Let me know. I'm curious. And this is not just when you're, pregnant and having cravings. This is for anyone and everyone. So I want you to take a screenshot of this episode, share it on your story, tag me at tips_with_Tony with an I. Let me know this either made you feel like you got permission to eat certain foods, if you're going to try a new weird food combo, if you want to share maybe something that you've tried before. I think it would be cool to like hear more of these and provide more variety for other people. So, all right, so here we go. So the very first one I have is a client of mine posted it in her food records, and it was, she was having this craving for something sweet, and she knows that she wanted to have like cakes or cookies or whatever she could have it, and we've taught her how to have it without going overboard. But she wanted something that was kind of semi-sweet, but she also knew that this could satisfy her. So she took a rice cake, cottage cheese. Here we go again, the cottage cheese. She put blueberry jam, homemade blueberry jam, some dark chocolate chips, and a little bit of peanut butter. Oh my God, is that not super satisfying? Like, that sounds so good. Going off of that, someone else submitted an entry on Instagram and said that she takes cottage cheese and she mixes it with turkey bacon bits. So that's a great example of how you could have cottage cheese as sweet or cottage cheese as savory. Now, here's the next one. We have, I think, celery and carrots can be combined with basically anything. So I don't know, people thought it was weird when I did carrots and peanut butter. I don't think it's that weird. I think you often think of dipping like maybe carrots or celery or even cucumber in hummus, but someone had submitted that they do carrots with salsa. I've definitely tried that before. It's not the best vessel, I would say. It doesn't really hold it well. I prefer, I could do celery with salsa, but I also don't really love that. Like, there's nothing to me. Unless it's fresh salsa. There's nothing really exciting. So personally, I like celery. I don't really love celery. It's kind of boring. So I might put like maybe some cream cheese on it, or I'm like a huge fan of goat cheese. And so that's a good combo. Or also celery and peanut butter, love it. I feel like peanut butter you can put with just about anything. So you'll hear in a lot of these, we have a lot of cottage cheese and a lot of peanut butter. Somebody else had said that she'll do like roasted carrots and broccoli, and she mixes that with hummus. That sounds pretty good. I don't know if that's that weird, but I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. We're all pretty different. But get this one with peanut butter is gonna, like, a lot of this was like, I knew I had to do this episode, and then I'm actually currently recording this in Arizona. I'm on an elite mastermind retreat. It's basically a bunch of different business owners who come together and share ideas and kind of share how they're going to expand their business and help each other out. And so far, honestly, I've been here for a day. It's incredible. I'm super excited to really get into the work and to do a lot of the learning. But I'm saying this to say that somebody in the mastermind, she's a good friend of mine. She's also a registered dietitian, and she will be on the podcast soon. I've been following her on Instagram. Her name is Bridget. And she posted on her story that she had roasted sweet potato with peanut butter on it. And I was like, oh my God, need to try that. Obsessed with sweet potato, but more obsessed with peanut butter. Like, that combination sounds to die for. Still haven't tried it yet because I just happened, but I need to try it. And she said it's so good. Then later, so that was like right before Arizona. Then we fly here and we meet up in the airport, and we were talking, I don't know, somehow this conversation came up about weird food combos or whatnot. And she's like, she was on the plane, and she says when she goes on the plane, she takes those baby food pouches that are like a mixture of like fruits and vegetables. So it'd be like peas and pear, right? And that's something that she takes on the plane with her. I thought that was like great. That's a great idea. Like, if maybe you didn't get to pack your fruits and your vegetables, or the fruits and veggies, tend to, you're not really going to pack a ton of vegetables. They need refrigeration. But like, fruit I would pack is like, I would sometimes pack apples or oranges, like if I'm going on a trip, right? But something like that is just such a great way to get your fruits and vegetables in, and it's portable and it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's just like, I thought that was so interesting. I've never even tried those post being a baby, but I'm pretty sure they're probably very good. So that I thought was super interesting. And so I had to share. Anyways, somebody else posted on their story, they do honey mustard with tuna fish. I actually don't know if that's that weird because of the fact that I love honey mustard. So I feel like honey mustard could go with anything. And tuna fish, I think you need something powerful to kind of overmask it. But I don't know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it would be a little interesting. I'm excited to try that one. Somebody else said that she puts honey on her pizza. So also, too, if you like salty, sweet, then you probably like, for example, I don't like chocolate covered pretzels. Like I really just don't. I like chocolate and I like pretzels, but I don't like them together. And so depending on the type of, like some people crave more salty, some people crave more sweet, some people like that combination. So if you're somebody who you really like that salty sweet, then you probably should try honey on pizza. That sounds really, really good. Someone else said that she mixed lentils with jalapeno and artichoke. She said she's still trying to figure out how she feels about that, which I thought was kind of funny. So we don't know if it's a good combination or not. Jalapenos are really strong. I don't like super, super spicy. So I feel like if it was cooked in the jalapenos and the jalapenos were taken out, I might be able to get over that. But probably not going to try that one, not going to lie. Someone else said baked salmon with fried eggs and salad, which I don't know if it's that weird. I really put eggs with basically anything. I feel like, and that sounds like very brunch-like. So I guess if we're going against the grain, where a lot of people think like they have to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, like I feel like if I were to go to brunch, like a late lunch, which by the way, I always still eat breakfast when I go to a brunch with my girlfriends. So, but like that's something that would probably be on like a brunch menu that I would totally go for. Baked salmon, fried eggs, and salad. Sounds amazing. And then the last thing that I think is often can be used savory or sweet, or has really great different combinations, similar to like cottage cheese. There's lots of ways you can have it. Oatmeal is definitely one of those things. So if you've never listened to my podcast before, I usually do my oatmeal with protein powder, peanut butter, and blueberries or banana, some flax seeds, and water. Basically, that's how I make my oatmeal. And I really like that. And maybe some people think that's weird. I actually didn't put this on here, but now it just came to mind. Another thing I do is I'll take, like if I'm having cold cereal, say like Cheerios, I'll take my milk and shake it with protein powder and use that as my milk. And I do that because it's important that we get around 20 grams of protein at every meal. You know, you don't have to obsess about it, but it's a good kind of goal, I think, to aim for. And cow's milk per cup is usually about 8 grams. And then if you do a lot of the plant-based milks, which most people I find today do, they actually don't have any protein. Or if you do even a Ripple milk with like a pea protein, it's made from peas. And so that does have 8 grams of protein, I think, or 7 grams per cup. But either way, it's not that 20 grams. So I tend to kind of shake up my protein powder with my milk in the morning so I can still enjoy, you know, a cold cereal or a hot cereal in the morning. But anyway, so that's like one way that you could do oatmeal, which maybe you think that's weird, maybe you don't. But someone else put in that she does oatmeal with egg whites instead of the water. And I've definitely have tried this before. It's not that bad. And then she actually puts in a little bit of cauliflower rice as well. So I guess what that would do is, I mean, I don't personally think that you need a ton of oatmeal to feel full and satisfied because of the fiber. But I guess if you did want to have a large portion, it could really kind of help fluff it up and add some nutrients as well. You can sneak your veggies in that way. And so if you wanted to do like a 1/4 cup or a 1/2 cup of oats and then some cauliflower rice, and you instead of using the water, use the egg whites, that's a great way to get that protein in. It's really going to create a large amount, and then you can mix whatever you kind of wanted with it. But I thought that was actually really, really smart, and I definitely want to try that out. So let me just be clear, the cauliflower rice is not replacing the oatmeal, okay? It's just helping to bring out bulk. It's very similar to when someone comes to me and they maybe are eating too much rice or they're not eating enough vegetables. I might recommend that they combine their rice with their cauliflower rice, rather than a lot of people will just have the cauliflower rice, completely negate the complex carbohydrate, and then wonder why they're hungry 5 seconds later or have issues with bowel movements or issues with cravings. It's because we want to incorporate those complex carbohydrates, but we want to be mindful of the portion because it is easy to overdo with them. Okay. And then somebody else said that with her oatmeal, she does like a maple brown sugar oatmeal and she puts scrambled eggs on top, which I think if you're the type of person who, when you eat a meal, you don't mind that things touch, and that like if I were to sit down and I would have like, if you went out to, breakfast, right, you might get oatmeal and eggs and bacon and vegetables or whatever, and it's all on one plate, then you're not going to really care that those things mix. And some people like that. Like I know my boyfriend likes when he has waffles and then he'll put syrup on it and then it gets into the eggs and he likes to eat it like that. Like I think that when I was younger, I enjoyed that, but now I'm very much like, as you can tell, I don't like things being together. Not that I don't mind if they touch, but I just don't, I want to like eat my waffle and enjoy the sweetness and finish that, and then move on to my eggs and enjoy the savory and finish that. That's personally how I am. But there's nothing wrong with things when they kind of go together. But anyways, I think that's it for right now. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know, are you with me? Do you like kind of like just salty, just sweet, kind of separate, but you'll still eat them together, but like they're not so much different flavor profiles. So it's like you might eat a combination of like salty foods and sweet foods, but you do it separate, or do you like to have those things combined together? I'm curious what you think about that. Like I said, if you found this interesting and you want to hear more about these weird food combos, definitely take a screenshot of this episode, share it on your story, tag me at tips with underscore Tony with an I, or feel free to email me tipswithtony@gmail.com. All right, guys, that is it for me today. If you have not already subscribed to the Tips with Tony podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button, follow button, like it, love it, review it, do whatever you can to get this message out there. And also so that you don't miss an episode when it gets released. So a new episode comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you're subscribed, it will notify you when one comes out. All right, that is it. Thanks so much for listening. As always, I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.